Hello everybody and welcome to another draft analysis, because why the hell not? Um, this time, this is for the wonderful Amateur Invitational League of Ridiculous Draft, or WAILORD for short, which is actually a league created by me. So it's a 16 coach league, and it's a tier 3 and below league. So basically, any Pokemon that's in tier 3 or below in normal leagues, with some exceptions, um, have been allowed in this, and anything above that has been banned. There were some Pokemon that you'd normally see in tier 3 that we decided to ban as well, just because, like, they would be pretty strong in this format, basically. Um, but yeah, it's a 16 coach league, and um, in the draft, I was, I think, like 10th position or something like that. Somewhere like that. I can't really remember exactly, but I was somewhere close to the end. But that means I was fairly close to the wheel as well. So it means I didn't get like any super strong picks straight off the start. But my first pick. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just get straight into the draft analysis here. Just don't want to waste too much time. There's not really much to say about the league, other than that, yeah, tier 3 and below, and so, 2 tier 3s, 2 tier 4s, 3 tier 5s, 4 free picks, 300 points to spend on those free picks, and then Z users cost points out of those free points as well. So it was 20 points for a tier 3 Z user, 10 points for a tier 4 Z user, and tier 5 mons could use Z moves for free. So we kind of had to balance the tiers around that idea as well. But yeah, so we'll just get straight into it. And my first pick, at about 10th pick, after some stuff that I was looking at had already been sniped from me. I mean, I guess, like, there was some stuff I was looking at that I was thinking about picking up, but I hadn't really made a plan or anything yet, so I can't really call it sniped. But yeah, my first pick was Incineroar. So maybe not the strongest pick straight up, for the start of my draft, but it is a really cool mon. And, like, to be honest, it's a tier 3 and below league, and everything in tier 3 um, could be basically a first pick. Like, the way that tier 3 and below leagues work, it's like a lot more variation in what people want to be able to grab. So yeah, but I'm going to grab Incineroar, nicknamed Austin after my friend Austin. Um, got a nice HP stat of 95 there, nice attack stat of 115, decent defenses with 90 in each. Special attack isn't even terribly bad with that 80, and speed is average, but, like, I mean, it's a Gen 7 Pokemon, so what can you expect, really? But it does get that Intimidate now that it's been released, that hidden ability, which makes this so much better than when it was just a Blaze. So I feel like this is definitely going to be a good pickup. Like, an Assault Vested, Intimidate, Incineroar is going to be able to be tanky on both sides, which is really good because, like, there's not much that's taking this down too easily, especially in this format where everything is tier 3 and below. So get some nice moves as well. Like in the bulk up, get some priority with fake out, which is pretty cool there. Gets knockoff as well, so some since it's part dark type, it gets some stab on that as well, some same type attack bonus, which is pretty cool. Roar for some phasing, Swords Dance more setup, Taunt to stop your opponents setting up, U-turn for some momentum, and Will-O-Wisp. Just some nice notable moves there. I don't really put many offensive moves in the notable moves, but Incineroar does get some nice coverage moves as well, which is pretty cool. But, like, most of the time, this thing's going to take like a fire move, the knockoff U-turn, and then either set up or something like the Will-O-Wisp or the Taunt or something like that, just for some support there. Or it could take a coverage move as well, but like, who knows? Depends what set you're running. But yeah, I feel like this is a pretty good start to my draft. I don't normally focus too much on fire types, but um, in this tier 3 and below league, there's not very many good fire types. There is a lot of fire types going around still, but not very many good ones. So I felt like picking up one to start with might be good to, um, like, it might be good just so that your opponents can't pick up a good one later, basically. Um, Not like that there's much that fire types really you need it for, like, because there's not very many steel types in this format, just because most of the good steel types are, well, there's not many steel types to begin with, and then the ones that are any good are generally above tier 3. Um, but yeah, there are still some decent ones down lower, but not so much that you need to focus on a fire type, in my opinion, but still I grabbed this fire type first. Up second, I grabbed another tier 3 in Donphan. So this is going to be my main stealth rocker and main rapid spinner for this league, really, and that's named Domfan after Dom, another friend of mine who's also in this league. Austin, Dom, Ian, Cade, Ben, all of them are in this league as well, so pretty cool to have them here too. But yeah, nice bulky HP with 90, 120 attack, 120 defense. So really physically bulky, not so much on the special defensive side, but you can patch that up with some EVs. And once again, not the fastest, but like, it's a bulky mon. You're not really going to be investing speed into it that much anyway. It's got the sturdy ability as well, which means that you're basically guaranteed to be able to set your stealth rocks up outside of like being taunted or something like that. But that's okay. Like, that's always good to have, and the fact that it can get rapid spin as well, it makes it um, a really effective mon at hazard control. So it's pretty nice to have on my team, and it's been something I've been wanting to try using for a while. So good to have the Dom fan. Notable moves, it gets Ice Shard for a little bit of priority there, which is pretty awesome. It gets Knockoff as well, which is always good. Getting rid of items off your opponents is never a bad thing. Raw for some phasing too. It can Rock Polish up, get that speed boost if you really need it to be faster. I mean, could be something interesting to take. Matt tried to... Was it Matt? Yeah, Matt tried to bring that against me in the NCL just the other day, so it's pretty interesting. Definitely a possibility. It scared me a lot when I saw him do that, so definitely something to watch out for there. Up third was... Is this another tier 3 or did I go into tier 4? Who knows? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, tier 4. And one of my first Z users. My next pick is a Z user as well, also tier 4, but we'll get down to that after this. Ian the Alolan Raichu. After Ian, my friend Ian, that's always in draft leagues with me as well. 60 HP, 85 attack, 50 defense, 95 special attack, 85 special defense, and 110 speed. So this is getting us a bit more speed on our team, which is nice. Gets that Surge Surfer ability, but there's no Tapu Koko to take advantage of that with, but it can set up the electric terrain by itself if it needs to, if I really want to get that boost from Surge Surfer, double speed in the electric terrain. But yeah, so it's not the bulkiest of mons. The special defense is not the worst, but still not the best. It could be useful getting some Carmines up. It does get Carmine, so that could be pretty cool there. And its attack and special attack are pretty similar as well, so it is potentially viable to run this with either a mixed attacker, or like you can run it either way. So it does get some interesting physical coverage moves, so that's definitely something that can be done, and especially since it's a Z user, it could be quite useful in that respect. Gets agility, so it can get even faster if it needs to. Calm mind, as I said before, get that special attack, special defense up. Encore, lock your opponents into like setup moves and stuff like that if they need to. Extreme speed and quick attack, but quick attack doesn't need to be on here because extreme speed is always more useful. Fake out also for more priority there. Knockoff, once again another knockoff user, so if my opponent is bringing items, which they are, then like everything on my team is potentially going to be a knockoff bait user at this point, so that's pretty interesting. Does get screens with light screen and reflect, so that's always potential there. Magic Coat can reflect some of those status abilities back. Nasty Plot if I just want to go straight for that offensive potential. Refresh if I want to get rid of, if I want to make sure I'm not toxiced up or like burnt or anything like that. That could be cool there. Thunderwave to spread some paralysis. Volt Switch for some more momentum there. So I've got a U-turn in Incineroar and a Volt Switch in Raichu at this point, which is pretty cool. And then there is the potential for some wishing there as well, but it's not the bulkiest mon, so the wishes aren't the strongest. It's not the best at passing wishes, though the potential there for it is there for it as well, so that's pretty cool too. My next pick, another tier 4 pick and another Z user, is Best Dragon, the Alolan Executor. 95 HP, 105 attack, 85 defense, 125 special attack, 75 special defense, and 45 speed. So another slow mon for my team so far, but this one's a bit bulkier. Got that grass and dragon typing, so pretty good defensively, but obviously it does get decimated by those ice type moves. So Yachi Berry is probably going to be quite common on this. It does get the Frisk and the Harvest. So Frisk, if I want to find out what moves, what items my opponents are holding, and then Harvest, I can get those berries back once they've been used. So potentially could chuck a citrus berry on this, or like one of the 50% berries, or like if I wanted to just make sure that no ice type move is ever 4 times effective against me, I can keep getting Yachi berries back. Also gets knockoff, so that's four out of 4 mons on my team so far that gets knockoff. Leech Seed for some sustain there. Gets light screen. I don't think it gets reflect, but still got one of those screens, which is pretty cool. Most ice type moves are going to be special most of the time, so that could help there. I think light screen is the one that blocks special, right? I believe it is. Who knows? Moonlight, some more recovery. It does get the Sleep Powder Stun Spore, which can be interesting there. Swords Dance, it does have the potential to be a physical attacker and a special attacker. That special attack is obviously a little bit higher, but definitely it does have some nice physical coverage moves, so it is definitely something that it can be run as, and a mixed attacker can be good as well, just like physical attacker with a Draco Meteor, so you don't need to worry about that Draco dropping your special offensive stats and stuff like that. Synthesis, more recovery, can be a Trick Room user, which is interesting. It is slow enough to be able to use that fairly effectively, and it does hit hard enough to be able to use that fairly effectively as well. And then this can be a wish passer as well, which is interesting as well because it's a little bit better at wishing than the Raichu will be, but still not going to be the best at doing that. But speaking of good wishes, I think my next pick is going to be one, and yes, that's Licky Licky, which is named after myself. 110 HP, 85 attack, 95 defense, 80 special attack, 95 special defense, and 50 speed. So um, lots of nice bulk there. Own tempo means it can't be confused. Oblivious means it can't be taunted or infatuated. And Cloud9 means that weather teams are not going to like me bringing this. So you can probably expect this to come in a weather war, which is pretty cool. I do like Licky Licky. I don't think I've had the opportunity to use it, fit it on the team. But it is very nice to have. It's got some nice bulk and it's a good wish passer. You can pass some really strong wishes with this thing, which is cool. And its offensive stats aren't terrible either. 80 attack and 85 attack and 80 special attack is not too bad. It can get Swords Dance to make that attack even better, which is interesting as well. Disable can like stop your opponent from being able to use the same move all the time. Can be useful against like choiced Pokemon. Dragon Tail for some phasing there is nice. Heal Bell, so that's some status removal for your team. Another knockoff user, so 5 out of 5 mons so far have knockoff, which is interesting. I didn't even like think about what was being able to get knockoff while I was drafting, so it's very interesting that everything has it so far. Refresh if I want to just worry about statuses on this thing by itself. Heal Bell is probably more useful there, just so it's got that bonus for the whole team as well. Swords Dance, as I said, get that attack up, and then Wish for some nice wish passing. So this is more of the cleric for my team, a nice defensive mon to support, which is pretty cool to have. It's not normally something that I focus on too much, but it is always nice to have one of these on a team. Pick number 6 was Flick the Durant, 58 HP, 109 attack, 112 defense, 48 special attack, 48 special defense, and 109 speed. So pretty decent attack, pretty good defense, pretty good speed. Not very good special attack, not very good special defense at all. So you're not going to really want to be taking a fire move with this at all, since it's 4 times effective against it. And like it doesn't have any special defense at all, so it's gonna die to like a hidden power fire or like an incinerate or something like that, like one of those low power fire moves. So it's something to be very careful of. But it has a nice attack stat, and it's got nice dual stab to be able to take advantage of that with the Iron Head, and like X Scissor, stuff like that is really nice to have. And then it can tank a hit on the defensive side. It's a good 4 times. It's a good. What is it? 4 times resistant to grass. I don't know if you're really going to be taking very many physical grass moves, but like it's still going to be decently good against fighting moves, even though it's neutral. It's still going to be decently good against things like some flying moves, even though it's neutral. And it's going to be able to hit back pretty hard, which is pretty cool to have. Swarm, bug type moves get stronger when it gets less health. Hustle, your moves get, your physical moves get boosted or something like that. Or is it just all your moves? I don't know, but you get boosted damage on your moves, but you have a chance to miss, which is good and bad. I've definitely missed moves I haven't wanted to when I've been using Hustle on them on before, so definitely something to play around with there. It does get Hone Claws that it can kind of negate that effect, which is pretty cool as well. Truant's never going to be used because that just means it only gets to attack once every 2 turns, and nobody wants that on a mon unless for some reason you're taking Slacking. It does get agility, so it can up its speed quite a lot there, which is nice. Baton Pass can pass stat boost into your teammates. This league, I don't think I allowed it. I don't think I allowed a stat pass, but Baton Pass is still legal for like momentum purposes and stuff like that. Hone Claws, as I said, ups that accuracy, ups that attack. Rock Polish does the same as Agility. It gets Thunder Wave as well, which is interesting. But this is my first mon that does not get knockoff. So, nice fact for you there. Next up, I got the Frost Lass, which is Frost Lass, after Frost K'd my friend as well. 70 HP, 80 attack, 70 defense, 80 special attack, 70 special defense, 110 speed. So this is like kind of like Glalie, where everything is like very similar, except it loses 10 in HP, 10 in defense, 10 in special defense to get 30 more in speed over what the Glalie gets, and it gets that ghost type as well. And that cursed body ability, which is what I'll run with most of the time, because I don't have Hail on my team, so Snowcloak's not the most useful. But cursed body being able to have a chance of making a move not be able to be used by your opponent if it gets hit by it, which is pretty cool. Can be good against those Scarfers or like Specs users or stuff like that as well, make them switch out. But Frostlass is an interesting mon. It brings some more speed to my team, which my team is kind of lacking at the moment outside of the Raichu and the Durant. 3 out of 6 now, I think. 3 out of 7. 3 out of 7 isn't too bad having fast mon, so that's pretty cool. It does get Aurora Veil, but that requires either setting up Hail itself or having something else set up Hail for it. There is someone that does have Hail in this league, so it could be a potential bring there. Destiny Bond is always a nice move to like play mind games with your opponent with. Disable, once again, disabling moves is interesting. Ice Shard for a little bit of priority. And it can use it as well because the attack and special attack stats there are even, so a nice potentially mixed attacker here too. It does get Light Screen, it does not get Reflect, it does get Pain Split, it gets Spike, so some hazards there. It does get Sucker Punch as well, so that's interesting and pretty cool. Switcheroo, so you could run a... you get Switcheroo and Trick, so you could run a Scarf or a Specs or something like that and trick that onto a more defensive mon if you wanted to stop them like healing in front of you all the time and stuff like that. Taunt as well, which is pretty cool. Thunderwave and Will-O-Wisp for some status spreading as well. So this can set up hazards, it can spread status, it can Destiny Bond. It's a nice supporting mon for my team, and it can hit decently hard, and it's fast as well. So that's always good to have, especially since in this league there's a lot of slower mons that are being used, not as many fast ones, just because of the fact that like a vast majority of the speedy mons are in the higher tiers. But next up we've got Hitmonchan, named after Anna. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This gives me another rapid spinner, so a little bit more hazard removal here, which I don't have a lot of at the moment. I do have the Stealth Rocks and the Rapid Spin on the Donphan for some hazard control there. I got Spikes on the Frostlass, and then I've got Rapid Spin on this. I think that's the limit of my hazards at this hazards and hazard removal at this point, which is not a lot, but I think the ones that I have the hazards on are the ones that I'm going to use it on, and they're more like they're consistent enough that they can probably come most weeks, especially like the Donphan, so I'm not too worried in that aspect. Keen Eye means it can't lose its accuracy. Iron Fist, punching type moves get damage boost. Inner Focus can't get flinched. Iron Fist or Inner Focus probably the more useful abilities out of that, as it is against the rules to use accuracy lowering moves in this, so Keen Eye is not a big deal. But 50 HP, 105 attack, decent attack there, 79 defense, Not the best with that 50 HP, but it's not terrible either. 110 special defense is getting alright. Um, and then 76 speed. Chuck an assault vest on this and have rapid spin and 3 offensive moves, and you basically have a set. Which is pretty cool. Like, that makes it fairly specially defensive then, and it can still hit pretty hard, so not too bad. And it's not super fast, but it's not super slow either. It's a nice speed tier that I picked up in this mon, which is good. Can get agility if you need to go for that speed. Can bulk up as well to boost that defense and attack. Bullet punch, fake out, Mac punch, all for some priority there. Different types, obviously, like you got the steel type bullet punch, the normal type fake out, and the fighting type Mac punch. All very useful moves for sure. And then the rapid spin for that hazard removal. Oh god, sorry, I'm talking so much, my throat's starting to hurt. Anyway, what did I go for next? I can't remember, so I'll just go to the next slide. And okay, Moraine. So, I needed a grounded poison type because I feel like they're pretty important, and there wasn't many in the point range that I could go for at this point. But this is Zach, named after my brother, who is also in this league. It's his first league, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Now, since this is a pre-evolution to Toxapex, its stats are not the best, but like chuck an Eviolite on that, and it's still going to be pretty defensive, and it still gets that regenerator, so it's still going to be a good defensive mon and tough to deal with for sure. So 50 HP, 53 attack, 62 defense, 43 special attack, 52 special defense, and 45 speed. Chuck an Eviolite on. Those defenses go up, both of them. And it can be quite an increase depending on which one you spec into with your EVs. Merciless and Limber. Merciless does extra damage on poison moves if you're, or what is it? Always crits if they're poisoned. I don't know. It ends up doing more damage if your opponent's poisoned, basically. So interesting, but Moraine does not have the offensive stats to really make much use of that. Limber means it can't get paralyzed, which I mean can be useful, but Regenerator is normally what you would take on this thing. Just for that 30% damage, like that 30% heal every time you take it out of battle. It gets haze, so it's got some anti-setup there. It's got knockoff as well, so another knockoff user. Magic coat to reflect those hazards back. Pain split, so it can like heal up and stick around for longer, recover, so it can do the same thing. And then it's got toxic spikes as well, so some more hazards there. Not a lot to say about this. I'm really sorry about that. It's just baby Toxapex, basically. It's still going to be tough to deal with, and it's still going to be interesting to use. Next up, I got Mr. Mime. I needed a fairy type. All the higher tier fairy types are gone, but this can be an interesting one for sure. It's decent speed with 90, not very bulky with only that 40 HP there, but it's got 45 attack. Not going to be using physically offensive moves, obviously. Only 65 defense, so it's not really going to be able to take physical hits too well. Special attack's pretty decent with 100, so that's pretty cool to have. And then special defense is really, really good with 120. Obviously, it doesn't have the best HP stat to back that up, but it's still going to be able to take like a dark type hit or something like that, which would be neutrally effective because it's psychic and fairy. But it's got soundproof, which can be cool. Stop things that want to spam hyper voice or other sound type moves. Filter, so super effective moves can be not quite as effective, which is pretty cool. And then Technician, which is another neat ability, which boosts the damage of low power moves. So things like hidden powers and stuff like that can end up doing more damage, which is really cool to have, especially with a 100 special attack stat. Can Baton Pass as well, can Calm Mind, can Encore, has a little bit of priority and Fake Out, but not the most best attack stat to take advantage of that. It can Healing Wish, so it can sacrifice itself to heal something else on your team. It does get those screens, the light screen and the reflect, which is pretty cool. Magic Coat, can Nasty Plot as well. Thunderwave, Trick, and it's another Trick Room user as well, though its speed's a bit higher than that Alolan Executor, so it's not going to be as great in that respect. Not too much else to say about this thing. It's going to be interesting to bring sometimes, and like I can definitely see it putting in some work, especially against things that aren't going to want to take like Hidden Power Ice or a Hidden Power Fire, etc. So neat to have there. Next up is Butterfree. I think, am I up to 11 yet? I believe this is my last pick. But yeah, this is Magic, after Magic, who is also in this league. So I basically got this because it's a bit of a discount Yanma, or Yarn Mega, with that tinted lens. Can Quiver Dance into that tinted lens attack, so it doesn't get the speed boost to take advantage of. Like, it doesn't get the speed boost that Yarn Mega can have as its other ability, but like with this, I can Quiver Dance up and still have that tinted lens, which is pretty cool. And so definitely going to be able to hit some hard hitting bug buzzers and stuff like that. Compound Eyes can be useful as well if I want to go with the Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, something like that. Sleep Powder into Quiver Dancing could be a real thing too with the Compound Eyes. And the fact that it gets 90 special attack and that's going to just keep getting boosted by Quiver Dance as well is pretty decent. And 70 speed is not anything to laugh at when you've got that Quiver Dance to boost you up as well. Plus this gets the free Z moves, so that's pretty awesome. This is my only defogger for this team as well, I believe. But once again, I'm not really going to be using that as a defogger too much. I would think, because like it's 4 times weak to rock, and so you're not really going to want to bring it on stealth rocks too much. It does get that roost so that it can heal up if you have to do that, but most of the time I'll be using either Hitmonchan or the Donphan for my hazard removal. So yeah, but it also gets some moves like the Reflect, which is pretty cool because I had some Mons before that could only use the light screen, so this can only get Reflect. But Morning Sun and Roost for some healing, Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, some statuses there. Tailwind, speed up my whole turn, whole team. U-turn for some momentum, and Whirlwind for some phasing. So I have some things that's going to stop my opponents being able to set up on me too much, and I have some things that mean I can switch out into whatever mons I want decently. Yeah, I feel like my team for this league is pretty good. Like what I got for a tier 3 and below, I feel like made a pretty well balanced team, and I can definitely see myself putting in some work with it. But yeah, obviously there are some free agent picks if I feel like anything's not really working out for me later on in the season. And but I mean, we've got to play some games to see what's going to happen there. Week 1, I do face Ian, and he has a pretty strong looking team, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I hope you liked this draft that I have come up with, and keep tuned for some more WAILORD Draft League content in the near future. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I will catch you all soon. Peace.